CNBC's At Work series focuses on the changes that technology is making on the relationship between employers and their workforce. Today, we're taking a closer look at the evolution in the way people are paid. Don Weinstein is the Chief Strategy Officer at payroll processor ADP. And Don, thanks so much for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So let's run this through. ADP started back in 1949 and started with the whole idea of outsourcing payroll because that was a function that a lot of employers didn't want to do. You guys picked it up. You now have, what, about 40 million people that you pay?
About 40 million worldwide. That's right.
That's a huge number of people. I am somebody who's paid by ADP. We get direct deposit here. And you said that makes up how much percent of those 40 million?
Roughly about 85 to 88% of the people worldwide are getting paid direct deposit today. Wasn't always that way, obviously. We started out, it was punch cards and paper checks. And, you know, it's funny, I think, as technology has evolved, direct deposit is a great feature, but at the same time, it kind of dehumanized, depersonalized. I remember when I started, my favorite part of the week was there was a lady who would push a little card around and give out, and it was like my favorite part of the work week. And then, obviously, you know, we've automated that process, which is great for a lot of things, but has also taken a little bit of that tangible employer-employee relationship and just depersonalized it.
Although the nice thing is you don't have to go to the bank, you don't have to cash anything, you don't have to deal with it. What's the new way that you guys are developing?
So it's been a couple of steps. First, we pushed everything to mobile. So as an example now, just for instance, a lot of direct deposit people, they might even forget, like, oh, was today payday? If you're fortunate enough, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. So even with mobile, we're able to put some push notifications out there. Hey, you got paid. It's just a little exciting and
right.
Not bad. And then most recently, so we're launching this new pay card, which is a debit instrument.
Okay.
It's Wisely Pay.
Yeah.
And we made an acquisition last year of a company called Global Cash Card that specialized. So it's a debit instrument, but it's purpose-built for making wage payments, and it gives us a real nice platform that we could really innovate around digital payroll, digital payments.
So just give us the practice, how would it work?
So you would sign up for the debit card as your preferred method of payment, and then instead of your wages going into a direct deposit or a paper check, and it's really geared towards the unbanked, underbanked, your wages would load directly onto the pay card.
What happens if I lose this card?
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that it's secure, so we can actually replace that. Whereas if you lose a check, that's actually much less secure.
How many people do you have right now that you're not able to bank properly?
So we have, we would estimate roughly about 15%. We still do about 3+ million paper checks.
And that's because they don't have, that's because they don't have bank accounts.
Correct. And that the debit instrument is the fastest
You're not
growing.
you're not trying to replace the bank. You're trying to just take care of those who.
Trying to replace the paper check.
Primarily, it's the paper check, although you'd be surprised. I think we're finding, particularly with millennials and now Gen Z, some of them will do this as a supplement to the bank account. So you might have a direct deposit and say, you know what, I'm going to set up a separate spending card and divert my money into different holding spots.
If I have a small business, let's say my small business has 50 people.
Sure.
What do you charge either on a monthly or weekly or annual basis to handle those 50 people?
Well, the payroll.
Not just for this, no, the payroll.
Yeah.
What's payroll cost for a small business?
A few $1,000s a year. We would say it costs less than your cable bill, less than your phone bill. Again, we try to add some value-added services. We were talking about benefits administration, time and labor, to expand our total addressable market. But that core payroll processing would cost less than your utility bill. And then the debit instrument, of course, is free to the employer, free to the employee. It's a different way to get paid. And I think one of the other big drivers on it has been the gig economy, right? And so we find in particular, just getting paid on time is a big problem for gig economy workers, right? Most employees, typically the average is about, you get paid every 2 weeks or so. It actually varies a little bit, but that's the predominant. If you think about a gig economy worker, a freelancer, typically they're not getting paid off of payroll, they're getting paid by accounts payable. Their terms could be net 30, net 60, and that's even if they get paid on time.
I remember when we worked at GE, they went from 30 days to 60 days for all contractors that they were paying.
Right.
Do you speed that process up, or do you just facilitate with it? But there are some companies that were doing it for the float. That was a policy at General Electric.
It didn't help.
Yeah, it did.
No, it's of course. A lot of companies use accounts
payable.
payable.
Financial crisis. when they were trying to
Whatever
literally.
they did,
Right.
they did a lot of things that didn't really
Different
help.
story there,
Yeah.
but certainly accounts payable is something that companies look at for cash flow purposes, and that's kind of the point. Whereas payroll, you're much more disciplined about it. Accounts payable, there's a recent study by the Freelancers Union. They said 71% of freelancers reported difficulty getting paid on time. So one of the things that we offer to the freelancers, what we call fast funds model. A way for them to get paid faster.
Meaning what, that you're fronting the money before they get paid?
Basically, yeah, with a financial partner.
What does the contractor have to, what does the freelancer have to do in return? How much do they have to pay you?
In that case right now, and it was an acquisition we did of a company called Work Market, it's a few percentage points off. I think that's going to trend down over time. So it's basically a share because they're taking the risk on it. But it's a real issue that they have in terms of not being able to get paid on time.
How many workers?
go ahead.
How many workers now? I mean, I know the IRS has seen that W-2 workers have dropped, and
That's
the
right.
freelance workers have picked up these contractors. What percentage are freelancers of the workforce now? Of the people that you're measuring?
Of the people that we're paying?
Yeah.
So we have about 350,000 freelancers on our platform. Again, it was an acquisition that we did earlier this year of a company called Work Market that specializes in it. And to the point that we were talking about earlier, one of the challenges that the freelancers would have is you might sign up for work, and then if you didn't have a contract or you didn't have some formal record of it, sometimes you're just getting a work assignment via an email. Hey, could you come in and do this for us, and we'll pay you X dollars. And even if that's legit, which let's say it is, try taking that to your accounts payable department and saying, hey, I just gave this person an email to do a graphic design for me.
Has anybody talked to you about paying people in any form of cryptocurrency?
So it's a question that comes up from time to time. From our perspective, we look at both the employer and the employee side, and there's almost no interest expressed by employees in getting paid in crypto, although it is a very popular question.
Now, I would imagine within the context of some of these crypto companies that they might want to pay or somehow bonus out to people cryptocurrency just to get them involved in it.
Hamburger companies want to pay you in hamburgers.
Of our
too.
600, modern day barter system, but I would say of our 600,000 clients.
I assume it's
very small
group.
The blockchain, however, is something that's much more interesting to us as a technology that we think could revolutionize payroll, especially for international workers, people on assignments, cross-border money movement. I think that's an area, again, that's been growing very quickly. One of the fastest growing areas are internationally paid employees. And so we're much more interested in blockchain as a technology for facilitating that.
Don, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.